welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping our newscast. On Tuesday, HOVENSA filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the District Court of the Virgin Islands. They announced on Monday that they have a buyer for the refinery's terminal assets, and they want the sale handled through the bankruptcy process. On Thursday, the first hearing of the case took place. News 2's Erica Parsons has an update.
Sandy, today was the first hearing for the Chapter 11 bankruptcy filed by HOVENSA LLC. Behind me, you can see the courtroom where this hearing was held. And basically, the attorneys for HOVENSA laid out for the judge what the debt obligations are and what they want to be considered. There was a courtroom full of attorneys and nearly 20 more people participating by conference call. Some representatives from HOVENSA, HES, PDVSA, the U.S. trustee, the VI government, Limetree Bay Holdings, and even local attorney Lee Rohn representing various creditors. The case was heard before federal judge Mary Walroth. Attorneys for HOVENSA petitioned for the court to grant several motions. First, they laid out the company's history dating back to 1965, the relationship with the VI government, and finally, the losses of roughly $1 billion over 3 years that forced the refinery to stop operations in 2012. The company no longer has employees, it says, only contractors, about 140, and one motion was to honor wages and compensation and other related obligations of nearly $950,000 in the interim, with final payment being about $1,040,000. The company has reached an agreement to sell the terminal assets to Limetree Bay Holdings. They want the sale to be handled through a court-supervised process so HOVENSA can pay off its creditors, hence the Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Those plans include $40 million owed to the VI government for environmental contamination. Also on the list were critical vendors and suppliers, insurance coverage, and orders to stop utility companies from discontinuing service, which were all granted in the interim. Erica Parsons, News 2.
HOVENSA's legal representatives also said that they hope the sale could be closed in November. Count on 2 to keep you updated. The fiscal 2016 budget bill is one step closer to approval. On Thursday, members of the Senate Rules and Judiciary Committee, chaired by Senator Kenneth Gittens, reviewed some 36 bills in total, including Bill number 31-0192, which would fund the Virgin Islands government in the next 12 months. News 2's April Knight has more.
The government's operating budget passed its penultimate hurdle Thursday at the Senate when the Rules and Judiciary Committee approved Bill number 31-0192.
The general fund bill for fiscal year 2016 is $560,919,638. There's also a miscellaneous section to this bill, and that total is another $99,103,864.
And it's happening just in time. If enacted, the bill would fund the government's operations throughout fiscal year 2016, which officially begins in less than 2 weeks. Senators agree that while lack of funding is always an issue with the annual budget, the way that money is handled is the problem that needs to be addressed.
Yes, it takes money, but we need money management, and that is key.
I don't think that we so much have a money problem, but we have a management problem.
Funding for the primary elections also came up. In the last VI elections, the relatively fewer Republicans expressed willingness to pay for their own primaries, but the sprawling Democratic field disagreed. On Thursday, Democratic senators showed support for publicly funded primaries.
I'd rather us pay for it as a people and make sure we have a greater involvement and that it's more transparent and pure.
The spending bill is slated for review at the next Committee of the Whole session next week. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
According to Senator James, he's anticipating a flurry of amendments when it's time to vote on the budget bill next week. Count on 2, we'll keep you updated. The Government Employees Retirement System is inviting its members to participate in a financial literacy workshop. That's on Wednesday, September 23rd at the GERS Complex 2nd Training Room on St. Thomas at 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. They say the objective of this workshop is to empower participants to take a more active role in developing a financial life plan by means of education. Participants will engage in a hands-on session where they will have the opportunity to assess where they are today, explore investment options, look at the impact of life events on their finances, and develop an action plan. For additional information or to pre-register, the number to call is 776-7703. That's 776-7703, extension 4202. Turn our attention to the courts. 4 defendants made their initial appearance in district court on St. Croix after their arrest for drug-related offenses. The defendants are Bruce McIntosh, 52, a.k.a. Bird, a.k.a. Butch. He is charged with 5 counts of distribution of cocaine. Mizel Melendez, 49, a.k.a. Salo, who is charged with 3 counts of distribution of cocaine and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. Winston De Castro, 42, a.k.a. Mumu, he is charged with 1 count of distribution of cocaine and 1 count of possession of cocaine. Carl Hansen, 55, a.k.a. Cuz and Aquilo, he is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit distribution of cocaine. A federal grand jury indicted the 4 defendants on Tuesday. District Court Judge Curtis Gomez today sentenced Amari Stroy, 23, of Union City, Georgia, to 8 months in prison and 1 year of supervised release for possession of marijuana. On June 8, 2015, Stroy pleaded guilty to possession of marijuana. Court records show that on February 13, 2015, Stroy was apprehended at the Sierra Leone King Airport on St. Thomas with approximately 9.9 kilograms of marijuana after arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 1 month after an elderly man was severely beaten, his pastor is speaking out. Pastor Anthony Benjamin says Augustus Banos is not much better than when he was found a month ago, and he wants the community to keep their thoughts on him. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has a story.
Augustus Banos' recovery has been slow.
He is still the same way he was when he was found here a month ago. He's still in a comatose state, still unable to speak, unable to see, unable to do anything at all beyond just lay on a bed.
Exactly 1 month ago today, on August 17th, the 73-year-old Banos was beaten unconscious in the D. Hamilton Jackson Park in Grove Place and his car stolen. He had been gathering nuts as he did regularly.
But for the help of a good Samaritan who saw him non-responsive on the ground somewhere around here, he might have been dead today.
Banos is a deacon at Calvary Baptist Church. His church, friends, and family are still in disbelief. His wife has been at his side in a Miami hospital.
His wife and children are finding it very hard to cope as well. They cry themselves to sleep at nights, not knowing if life as they knew it will ever be the same again. Their faith in God is what they are relying on to make it through each and every day.
Pastor Anthony Benjamin says a detective is assigned to the case, but as far as they know, no arrests have been made. The church family's plea: help from the community.
If it is true that, quote, evil triumphs over good when good people do nothing, then I'm appealing to the good people in this community to do something. So all I'm asking is that you do the right thing for him. You do for him what you would want someone else to do for you.
Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
And be sure to call the VIPD if you have any information that can assist. Turning our attention overseas, the candidates tackled the big issues in Wednesday night's CNN Republican debate, but it was the tense moments between the 11 participants that made the most impact. Paul Verkerman has the details from Simi Valley, California.
Mr. Trump, we don't need an apprentice in the White House. We don't need an apprentice in the White House. We have one right now.
That was one of the many jabs aimed at Donald Trump. The frontrunner was relatively subdued when discussion turned to the issues, but was defiant when defending his controversial comments.
I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
she
is
is
a total
absolutely the love of my life, and she's right
said.
here. And why don't
Good.
you apologize
Good.
for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong. I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Many debate watchers are calling the lone female candidate, Carly Fiorina, the winner. Her stance on issues resonated with the crowd. like funding Planned Parenthood.
This is about the character of our nation. And if we will not stand up and force President Obama to veto this bill, shame on us.
And losing a child to addiction.
We must invest more in the treatment of drugs.
There were many candidates on the stage, but Donald Trump got the most time to talk. Dr. Ben Carson, who is polling second to Trump in the latest CBS New York Times poll, got an awkward high five from the frontrunner when talking about Iraq.
I suggested to President Bush that he not go to war. Okay, so I just want that on the record.
The candidates who didn't get in their zingers still have plenty of chances. There are 9 more Republican debates to come. Reporting from Simi Valley, California, I'm Paul Verkaman.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the Federal Reserve decided Thursday to leave interest rates unchanged at historically low levels, even though the U.S. economy has been gaining strength. Borrowers and lenders all over the world had been closely watching for the announcement that came at the end of a 2-day Fed meeting. In a statement after their meeting, Fed policymakers said U.S. economic activity is expanding at a moderate pace, but they added recent global economic and financial developments may restrain economic activity somewhat and are likely to put further downward pressure on inflation in the near term. Here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow down 65, NASDAQ up 4, S&P 500 also down at 5. Coming up on News 2, many residents mourn the passing of Honorable Julio Brady. More on the legacy of the man who gave it. Welcome back. The Honorable Julio A. Brady, a pillar of the community in so many ways, passed away yesterday, Wednesday, September 16th, and the people whose lives he touched remember him fondly. Here's what some of them had to say about the man whose accomplishments transcend government branches. News2's April Knight has more.
He was known as Judge Brady to many, but his accomplishments were varied and remarkable. And when he passed away on St. Croix this week at 73, the entire territory mourned his loss. Julio Brady was a judge in the Superior and Territorial Courts and served as Attorney General. He was a practicing attorney and served as Chief Prosecutor in the 1979 Fountain Valley murder trial. Brady was also Lieutenant Governor from 1983 to 87 under Governor Juan F. Louis. His friends remember him for his mild temperament. Lieutenant Governor Osbert Potter called him a gentle giant, and other public servants agree.
I probably never even heard him raise his voice. So I believe he was pretty calm, and that's what you need in jurisprudence. So he served as a fine judge as well.
Judge Brady was friends with many current VI officials. Governor Kenneth Mapp was represented by Brady in his case against the legislature that kicked him out over residency issues back in 1989. The governor said he trusted Brady's intellect and counsel. Some senators also knew him personally and considered him a friend.
He was a very caring individual. You know, I remember the birthday cards that I've received from him. I remember his culinary skills in terms of the saltfish and smoked herring gundies that he prepared. He loved to cook, but he was always caring. He'll call, he'd visit individuals.
Judge Brady's judicial family expressed condolences to his wife Gwen and his 2 children and lauded his unyielding commitment to the practice of law and his exemplary service to the Virgin Islands. Judge Brady's body will lie in state at the appropriate time, according to Government House. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Our condolences to Judge Brady's wife, Gwendolyn Hall Brady, their 2 children, Julie Marie and Andrew, and his many friends. Senate Vice President Jeanette Millen-Young said, "We mourn the passing of an extraordinary, talented, and gifted public servant who dedicated his life to the people of the territory in numerous capacities with distinction, integrity, and dedication." The senator noticed she has a natural familiarity with Brady because of his relationship with her family. He served as VI Federal Programs Coordinator during the Juan Louis Henry Millen gubernatorial administration. Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett said she had the distinct honor of having practiced before Judge Brady and also worked with him in other professional, social, and familial matters. His wisdom and thoughtfulness were always a guiding hand, she said, to herself as an attorney and young Virgin Islander. Well, meanwhile, as the Virgin Islands community mourns, flags were flown on buildings all over the territory at half-staff. A proclamation was issued by Governor Mapp. Now, flags are being flown at half-staff at Government House and upon all public buildings and grounds throughout the territory until sunset on the day of the interment for the Honorable Julio Brady. Governor Mapp also urged owners of private and federal buildings in the territory to fly their flags at half-staff as well in honor. In other news, the Committee on Health, Hospital, and Human Services, chaired by Senator Kurt Violet, met Wednesday in the Fritz Loett's Legislative Conference Room, where testimony was given on two proposed legislations. The legislations came in the form of Bill number 31-0124, which permits a child born after the making of a will to collect from a descendant's estate by authorizing the establishment of paternity DNA testing. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Novell Francis Jr., said the bill came highly recommended by the legal profession, who has witnessed the unfortunate result of outdated probate laws in the Virgin Islands. Also, Bill number 31-0134, which seeks to establish the Board of Licensed Counselors and Examiners, providing for the licensure of persons to practice counseling, was also discussed. The Division of Personnel St. Thomas office will be closed on Friday, September 18th, and will resume normal operations on Monday, September 21st at 8 a.m. The staff will be participating in the 4th annual Employee Wellness Expo that's being held at Sunshine Mall, and you are invited. That's on St. Croix and at the University of the Virgin Islands Sports and Fitness Center, St. Thomas. The wellness campaign is being conducted by GESC Health Insurance Board in conjunction with the Office of the Governor, Division of Personnel, and Cigna Insurance. The mission of the expo is helping employees achieve long-term health. And of course, you are invited. One was held on St. Croix as well earlier this week. To celebrate Child Passenger Safety Week, the Virgin Islands Office of Highway Safety will be giving away some car seats and booster seats for children. Residents will be able to attend clinics to learn more about the importance of the seatbelt law. Now, in order to get a free car seat, attendees are asked to bring the child and birth certificate, car registration, insurance, and driver's license. The free clinic was held on St. John today, and those are the pictures, at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. On Friday, it will be held here on St. Thomas at the Vitima parking lot in Niski, and on Monday on St. Croix at Smithfield, which is behind the One Love gas station in Frederickstead. All clinics are being held from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Many students on St. John, St. Croix, and St. Thomas greeted the new school year with a little help from Choice Wireless and Friends. The local wireless company provided schools on all three islands with sturdy backpacks filled with school necessities like composition books, pencils, erasers, scissors, glue, and other supplies. Choice partnered with teachers from Adelita Cancrine Junior High, Sproul Elementary, and Alexander Henderson Elementary. Backpacks and supplies are also being given to students at Oswald Harris Court on St. Thomas. Mr. Tony Shepard, who's the CEO, acknowledged several local businesses that supplied funds to fill the bags. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.